Let's discuss.
Hey everyone, it's Rachel back again with another video, and today I'll be checking out another new single from Sleep Token. We were getting treated for a while there with the singles. Now it's been a minute since we had a new one. Aqua Regia has played out to remain my favorite, as I said in my last video. Today we'll be checking out the track Do You Wish That You Loved Me. I'm going to link all of the pre-order information, anything regarding Take Me Back to Eden, which is the upcoming album out on May 19th, in the description of this video. I've talked a lot about Sleep Token on my channel at this point. I've spoken my piece about them, very familiar with their discography, very excited for the upcoming album. I'm going to stop talking and we are going to get straight into it.
Into deep blue safety. Is it always the same? Do you wish that you loved me? Do you pull out the chains? Or do you push into constant aching each and every day? Do you wish that you loved me?
Oh yeah, that's gonna get stuck in my head.
Is there something you give that you will never receive in return? Do you know what it is?
What's that?
Do you wish that you loved me? Now are you trying to live like everything is a lesson to learn? Can you ever forgive yourself? Do you wish that you loved me? My reflection just won't smile back at me like I know it should, and I would turn into a stranger in an instant if I could. And there is something eating me alive, I don't know what it is. Maybe not that you conceal your feelings, they just don't exist. Do you ever believe
production really, I say that way too often in Sleep Token, but production really able to shine on this track.
Do you wish that you loved me? Could we ever release? Is it better to just not feel? Can we hit delete? Do you wish that you loved me? It's been so long that I'm forgetting what it feels like, but I'd rather not remind myself and leave it all behind. And I try so hard to fix it up, but nothing seems to help. But I cannot hope to give you what I cannot give myself. Do you wish that you loved me? Small bird. Do you wish that you loved me? Do you wish that you loved me? Oh, whoa. Do you wish that you loved me? Do you wish that you loved me? Small bird. Do you wish that you loved me? Do you wish that you loved me? wish that you loved me?
Not the vibe I expected for this track, I won't lie. Sleep Token, Do You Wish That You Loved Me? Let's discuss. I like this track a lot, and with the title being Do You Wish That You Loved Me, I think I was expecting something more in the vein of like Bloodsport and Missing Limbs, and it had a very different vibe to it, though at the same time, obviously, it still has a very sad mood and feeling. While it has that quality to it, I think at the same time it has a bit of like instrumentally, a bit of like upbeat pop almost, I think mainly in the synth, like, and that being such a contributing factor in a track like this. I know not everyone who's gotten on board with Sleep Token with the recent singles will be as hyped on this one, I don't think. This is more like I don't really want to compare it to tracks on their previous releases, because while they may hold the same sort of place as those, I don't think sonically it's similar to those tracks, but I think this will really do a good job at tying together the record. When you think of a release like this, when you look at Sundowning, because I feel the release of these singles, this Take Me Back to Eden, seems more similar to Sundowning than This Place Will Become Your Tomb to me, for sure. This Place Will Become Your Tomb, I've talked about this in quite a few of my newer Sleep Token videos, but This Place Will Become Your Tomb felt like a much more a much more contained release for Sleep Token, a little bit less all over the place. There were, of course, tracks that felt like they were it was still a Sleep Token release, but this feels very similar to how Sundowning felt with that release, and how the songs feel and the overall mood of the record being able to change so abruptly. There will be tracks that kind of fall in between some of the ranges that you're getting, especially with a track like The Summoning being one of the first singles that came out. That is a long track. It's proggy. It goes places that, really open the doors for the range on the record, and they can't really just like throw all these sounds out without really tying it together, or it will feel kind of messy. So I would expect some tracks not to land with everyone. For me, this won't be a favorite single or anything, I don't think. Listening, of course, when I heard Aqua Regia for the first time, I think I would have said the same thing, like, oh, I really like this, but it's not going to be my favorite single. And then all of a sudden it was my most played track every week, and then all of a sudden it was my favorite single. But I do think with this and kind of having the chance to show, like I mentioned, show off the production aspects of it, I think that in any context they get the chance to show off Vessel's voice, but this really does kind of show some of the harmonies, some of the moments that they haven't had so many of on these single releases. Though there have been some, I think, because the singles have been all over the place, because this has felt more like a Sundowning release where you have no idea what you're getting as the singles come out. Because of that, I think that it's safe to continue going into these singles, going into the record, not expecting one thing to be similar to another, one song to sound the same as another. I just don't think that's going to happen, but I do think the space between will fill in really well. Like this feels like a track that will, maybe if you don't like it now, maybe with the context of the full record, you will like it, or it will be a record that connects one song to another very well. You just, with a band like this, and their discography, thus far, the full context of the record has been incredibly important, more so than I would even I say that with most every record, but Sleep Token is 100% a band where I would feel that's even more the case. Anyway, this is definitely a band I could spend far too long in my outros talking about, but I think that the reception to this track may be somewhat similar to what the reception was with Fall for me, and Sleep Token has never been afraid to release what they want to release as a single, and it all typically makes sense. This, I think, more sonically it aligns with Fall for me, and then you know once you get into the lyrics and stuff, it connects to Missing Limbs, and it's just a very well thought out band, and their sound it feels so It's almost like when you're like listening to this track and you can almost feel some of the other tracks in there, like the storyline, if that makes sense. It may sound kind of dumb to those who haven't really like dug into this discography and listened to it a whole bunch, but just that feeling of something familiar, I guess, as you're listening to this, not like it's the same song, but like it's related or something. That's how I felt listening to this track, and then it feels like an evolution of the band still. While I don't think by any means this could take the crown as a favorite single, because the tracks that it would need to pass in order to do that are some big tracks, and the things that Aqua Regia becoming my favorite track in itself was the most surprising. But yeah, I think that the best way to sum up this band is to look at it like this. They just released, prior to this, the single that they released was Vor. So they went from Vor to Do You Wish That You Loved Me, and the difference in those two tracks it's just insane. And I think that speaks to what we will get from the album, and just to not have really any expectations with this band, which I've mentioned time and time again in my videos for them, and this is why, as we continue kind of getting into Take Me Back to Eden, and we continue uncovering the sound that we're going to be getting, you just don't know what you're going to get. And even when you get into a track like this where as the track list for the record came out, and we were all, I knew what this track meant because we had all been talking about what the meaning for Dywtylm was going to be, and all of this stuff, and I thought maybe it would go with like that, the Missing Limbs took that total raw emotional approach, the acoustic kind of, the whole production on that track is just a bit different than, if you go into the first track on the record, Atlantic, and you hear some of the stuff that comes through. That track is still the one I bring up when it comes to production, and hearing production come through so well, or like as a really good example of what I like to hear. I always use Atlantic as an example of that, because it's just a track when you put on some good headphones and listen through it, there's so much. Even now, I've listened to that song tons of times. I wouldn't even be able to get an idea of how many times I've listened to it. But even now, putting on a good pair of headphones and listening through, it's just an experience, and I feel like we'll get more like that as we go into this record. That is one thing I think we can expect going into a Sleep Token release, is something impressive, something that shows off high quality, not only musicianship, but production as well. There's always stuff in there. Even with this track, there was stuff that I was like, what is that? I love that. So while it takes the approach of having those big vocal moments, the layers, the harmonies, it also has some stuff in there where the production shines, where I'm going, what is that? So while it's probably not going to be for everybody, the people who are getting into Sleep Token and loving on the heavier sound, but not really liking the softer side of things, this may not land, but that never speaks to what's next for them. As you can tell, what I just mentioned, going from Vor to this, I think that sort of encapsulates us perfectly. Just because one track may not be for you with this band, it does not mean that the next one won't be. So I'm very happy with this. This will make it onto the playlist for me, though it will probably be towards the bottom of my ranking, at least on first listen, towards the bottom of my ranking of the singles at this point in time, but we'll see how that plays out. As we get closer to the record release, we are under a month now until that comes out, so any sort of pre-orders that you can get, merch, they're going to be on tour. The tour is sold out, though, already. I've got my tickets. I'm very excited. Sleep Token is going to be doing a U.S. headliner in the fall, so I have no idea who the support acts are going to be or anything. They sold the tour out without announcing support or anything, so very exciting stuff. All that being said, everything that you may need related to Sleep Token, the visualizer that I use, merch, all that stuff, in the description of this video. You can also find my link tree, which will have the Patreon link. I've got different tiers on there that offer different things. Tier 3 gets mixtape/playlists that I update, keep adding to for them based on what they like to listen to, some of their favorite artists. We do monthly patron-only live streams for requests, for watching stuff, to go over my monthly recaps, all sorts of stuff. So if you're interested, you can check that out to see what is offered there. You can also find the link tree, or you can also find the Discord server invite link in the link tree. That is where the community is based for my YouTube channel, a bunch of music lovers in the community. So if you're interested in joining, checking that out, that will be there. As always, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it.